Hello guys and welcome back to Pure Heart. Chris here, as usual, back again with another album review. And guys, before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like button onto this video and also comment down below what you guys thought about this album. And you know, if you're new here or a returning visitor, but you haven't yet subscribed, then please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. But let's get into it. So Grace is on Our Side is the latest album by Vertical Worship. If you guys don't know who Vertical Worship is, they are part of this church in Chicago called Harvest Bible Chapel. And this album is actually a really interesting one, to say the least. You know, just getting a little serious here. This may be the last Vertical Worship album. At least that's what rumors have been speculating. And the reason why is because, if you guys don't know, basically, I think about a year ago, there's some accusations about their former pastor. You guys don't know who that is. That's James MacDonald. And yeah, and so some really interesting things just has been speculating. I've heard from some people that really the Harvest Bible Chapel has like really got cut in half, and that like really stinks, you know. So like, please keep those people in your hearts. I know I have, and it really stinks just for those people. And for me, vertical worship, in the whole vertical spectrum right over there of the Vertical Church Network, let's just say they're really dear, close to my heart. I actually have a Vertical shirt right here, 'cause the church I am at now used to be part of the Vertical Church Network. So, you know, there's a little backstory for me. So this album, you know, getting in has been like a really intriguing one. I've loved their last two singles that they released onto here. So the song's Faithful Now and Not Done Yet. So, you know, going into this album, I had a lot much intrigue, and I just wanted to see of how they really more or less respond to a situation, or, you know, if, you know, it gives any idea. With a lot of worship bands, it's usually just about what they're dealing with right now, or, you know, what they see God doing for them in the future. So just to get in my overarching thoughts right here for this album, just plain and simple, I really enjoyed this album. This is probably one of my favorite worship albums, at least in the top worship albums of 2020. And, you know, just literally what this album is dealing with is definitely certain one that Vertical Worship needed in their church, but also what this Christian culture needed right now. On just literally with every song that they're talking about, they're literally saying, hey, no matter what happens, God is on our side. As long as we put our faith into Him, God will not leave us. And this, like, it's simple, so simple. It's so simple, and it's great. You know, it's not really this elaborate theme. It's just, life may be terrible, but God is always good. That's it. That's really the overarching theme of this album. Like, God will always be faithful. That's with so many of songs onto here, and of how, you know, that, you know, all the tribulations that we deal with life right now will be nothing compared to the amount of glory we will receive in heaven. Like, it's just, this album is so, I just love this message of this album. It's just a really nice message. So yeah, that's a little bit of the good. A few of my favorite songs off this album, because there's quite a bit of them. But, you know, a few that like really just I just want to keep on listening to is the first song, which is called Grace is on Our Side, which is the title track of this album. And man, it just really gets you into what this album is going to be about. It's just a really nice way to open up. I figured that they were going to open up with Not Done Yet, because it just had that very nice opening, but that's a little bit later into it. And speaking of that song, that's also another one of my favorite songs. I just keep on listening to that over and over. It's so good. Definitely one of my favorite Vertical Worship songs. The other single that they released, Faithful Now, isn't necessarily my favorite of the songs onto here, but I have really enjoyed that the more I've listened to it. over again. And also the second track, which was called Weapon, which is definitely one of my favorite worship songs of 2020. Just the way that song just builds and builds and builds until you hit this certain minute of the second time that he does the bridge, and it's just this wailing up, just like it's one of those songs that you guys definitely need to listen to. And if you don't start praising the Lord right there, then then there may be something wrong with you. It's just the way that song really progressed that I was like, I would have really loved that to be near the end. But the song that they do have as the last track of this album, which is called No Jerusalem, which is featuring John Guerrero. Wow. Just wow. It's so with that song, it's not a typical worship song, which is great. His voice is auto-tuned, and it's amazing. Okay, it had the auto-tune and also a few strings into there, and it's just a glorious song. And just the reason why it's talking about seeing everyone into heaven, and just this really just this expectancy of this is the reason why we don't have to worry about our tribulations into life, because the New Jerusalem, which is heaven, it's just a really great way to end the album that I was not expecting them to do some auto-tune. And so with this album, they do a lot of risk with the auto-tuned in the last song, and even the song Miracles, where it really sounds like a spontaneous type of worship that vertical worship isn't really known to do. And some of the songs that they do, it kind of sounds like their Frontiers album. At least that's the way I've been able to see it, just with some of the subject matter that they really deal with, and just the way that every song is really produced. It really kind of sounds like a enhanced version of Frontiers, and with some of the songs a better enhanced version of Bright Faith Bold Future, which was their album before this. However, with this album, there is some bad onto here. And with the bad, it's not saying that these are necessarily bad songs where it's like, oh, dude, you shouldn't listen to them, this is heresy. It's just that they didn't connect, and they just sounded like they were just going through the motions with some songs. For example, I think it's really the only Andy Roser song onto here, which was called All Praise. And that was really disappointing. That just was like, okay, I'm just going to go through the motions. It was the one that he did that was on Matt Redman's album, and I didn't really care for on there, and I thought they were going to make it a little bit better, but I didn't care for the least amount of thing. I thought maybe it was the voice, but it wasn't. It's just really the way that song is just structured. It's just not a good song. With that song, it just needs to be more condensed, and then it has potential of becoming a good worship song, but it's just way too long and just way too drawn out. It's just not good. And also with some of these songs that they do draw out, they're not as effective, but they do still play their role. And then you go into the next song, which was Hidden Places. I didn't even realize that song was playing at that time, and I was like, wait, what? I was literally listening to the album, and I was like, wait, we went to God of Abraham, wasn't there? And then I was like, wait, how did we get to God of Abraham? We were just at All Praise. And also some of the bad, at first I didn't really like some of these songs, but as time has grown on, I've been able to like them. For example, Over and Over and Pure Exaltation. At first I didn't really care for those songs. Now I don't mind them. They're not that bad the more I listen to them. So overall, I'm gonna have to give this album a 4.25 out of 5 praise hands. An album that I really enjoyed emotionally, and love the theme of this album. Just everything that they're dealing with, I absolutely loved. With songs that do kind of hit or miss there, but as time goes on, they do become a little bit better. But there is also so many great songs onto here. Just with the first 3 songs off this album, mind-blowing amazingness, and songs like Not Done Yet, and the amazing last song, which is called New Jerusalem. Just amazing work done by that. And yeah, if this is the last Vertical Worship album, then honestly, what a way to send them out. But I really hope it isn't, just because I really enjoy this band. So yeah, with that, if you guys would leave a like onto this video, comment down below what you guys thought about this album, what you guys' favorite song off this album, whether you agree with me or disagree with me about it, you know, and also whatever you guys want me to review, whether it's something in the future that hasn't been released yet, or something in the past that I may have missed, or whatever it may be. Put it down in those comments down below. It really helps me out to know what you guys want me to talk about. And also, if you're new here or a returning visitor and you haven't yet subscribed, but you know you'll love what we do here on To Pure Heart, and you just want some more, then hit that subscribe button. It again helps out this channel so much you guys wouldn't believe. And with that, you are loved. Boom. Bye.